Rights Association. This is Gizem Dik, and today we will host Selim Vatandaş to discuss one of the latest incidents that happened in the Greece border. In 2 February 2022, it is discovered that 19 irregular migrants pushed from Greece border froze to death. The absence of clothes and shoes caused a scandal in media and international platforms. Before moving into the discussion, we would like to introduce Selim Vatandaş firstly. He is in the International Refugee Rights Association, coordinator of the reporting department. He received his master's degree with his thesis on Transformation in Civil-Military Relations in Turkish Politics. Previously, he worked as a researcher in Bilgesam, İlke Foundation, and in Samer. His special focus is on migration studies and geopolitics in Turkey. Hi, Mr. Vatandaş. Thanks for joining today's discussion.
Hello, Ms. Gizem. Thank you very much for inviting me.
My first question is that, can you please mention the background process of this scandal news? For example, can you explain what is the relationship between this incident and the issue of refugees between Greece and Turkey?
Well, especially since 2015, Greece had a challenge against the migration flow in her borders. However, the extent to which she complies with human rights in this issue is a matter of debate. More than 8,000 immigrants trying to reach Europe via Turkey had to cross the Greek territory between 2015 and 2016. Although the first wave of migration succeeded to reach European countries, especially Germany, after the agreement signed between the EU, Turkey and Greece in 2016, the migration flow getting down. The agreement and rising risk of the number of refugees affected the approach of Greece against the migration. The state authorities became increasingly harsh. Migrants began to be sent to camps and returned to Turkey. This situation also caused the migration flow to decrease gradually. Although there was a positive approach, especially in the Greek Republic opinion, in the early stage of migration to Europe, as the number of refugees increased, the strict attitude of the Greeks, in particular the police officers, had a great impact in the international media. However, it's possible to state that the migration flow to Europe via Turkey still continues, although it's limited. According to United Nations, 9,000 migrants reached Greece by land and by sea in 2022. The vast majority of these immigrants come from distant geographies such as Iran, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. Syrians are now much less in number. The Greece has been trying to push back irregular migrants for the past 3 years, blindly ignoring their rights. I think European Union is also responsible for the Greece burden. Unfortunately, hundreds of refugees have lost their lives due to the unlawful intervention of the Greek military forces on the sea and river borders. Greece is very important for immigrants because it's a kind of entrance gate to Europe, which they regard as accessing wealth and prosperity.
We know that you visited the border for investigation. I would like to ask, what did you observe in Uppsala? Can you please elaborate on that?
Actually, when we got the news that refugees froze to death on the Greek border, we, as the Refugee Rights Association, went to the Edirne border on February 3rd. Since the Interior Minister of the Republic of Turkey was also very sensitive about the issue, the state authorities in the region were working on intensively and carefully. In Uppsala, which is within the borders of Turkey, the people were in their daily business. As far as we can tell, they seem to have gotten used to the migration activity in the region for the last 3 years. In the interview we had with the villagers, they stated that such incidents unfortunately happen from time to time. However, this latest case, in which 19 refugees froze to death, shook the villagers deeply, because they had removed the dead bodies from their muddy fields after the snow had melted. Villagers constantly said that they were very upset about the events they witnessed. Another notable finding was that they called the other side of the border as Europe rather than Greece. The The main responsibility for the peasants was also Europe. I think they are aware that Greece is the stronghold of Europe is being oppressed by the members of the Union. A villager stated that he lost his appetite while having breakfast after the sights he encountered, that he felt sorry for the immigrants who lost their lives, and also according to him, the state authorities should take precautions regarding the safety of the immigrants.
Do you have any information about the identities of refugees frozen in Uppsala?
When we ask as the NGO researchers there, with the conversations, Turkish District Jandarma, District Police Department and the Prosecutor's Office, they were also very sensitive and emotionally because of the situation. There was no clear information about the ages and the nationalities of the individuals. The necessary procedures for the identification are continuing in Turkey. However, as we learned from officers, the individuals are adult males aged 25 and 30 years. There were no women or children among the dead bodies. They underlined that some of the people were found were without coats, shoes and socks, and some of them were almost naked. In addition, the Greek border forces also seized the identity documents of the individuals. The absence of any documents on the identity information of all those found makes it difficult to determine their identities.
Our last question is about the responsibility of states on that issue. Do you think the states have a weakness or responsibility on 19 frozen dead bodies?
Although all information could not be reached because the incident is recent, there is no doubt that it violates international conventions to which Greece is a party, especially the 1951 Geneva Convention relating to the legal status of the refugees, and the European Convention on Human Rights and the Dublin Convention. People who froze to death are victims of the Europe's inhuman and unlawful treatment, especially since the Greek military confiscated their clothes and the identity documents. I would like to express that we will constantly follow the legal process related to the grievances arising from the breached obligations and bring them to the criminal courts in Europe.
Thanks, Mr. Vatandaş. Is there anything you want to add before ending our conversation?
Well, actually, for us, whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all of humanity. The main thing here is to have a conscience that can establish the security of the migration road so that every individual can continue his life. Unfortunately, such isolated incidents happen all the time in the region, in the Greek border, in the last 3 years. As we know from the border researchers, the Greece sends refugees back to Turkey after persecuting them. The vast majority of returned refugees don't have clothes on. They say that their clothes have been taken off by the Greece authorities. Returning to Turkey from the Greek border without clothes causes refugees to freeze to death, especially during the winter months. I would like to add that every people have to migrate all over the world. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Dear listeners, this is Gizem Dik and Selim Vatandaş. We have talked about the latest incident that happened in the Greece border. Frozen bodies of 19 irregular migrants found in Uppsala without any clothes and shoes on. Mr. Vatandaş mentioned what he observed in Uppsala during his visit. We also talked about the state's responsibilities and